Again is the Almanac of Travel. Today we're going to learn about the remarkable ways in which Scandinavian airline system keeps tourists going to Denmark, Norway, and Sweden even in the dead of winter. And we'll be discussing why you might want to follow their lead to Scandinavia despite the snow and despite the cold. We'll be talking with the Lord Mayor of Dublin, Ireland about that city's 1000th birthday and about all the birthday related to that delightful capital. And finally, we'll be traveling to the exotic areas of Ladakh and Kashmir in the high Himalayas as we discuss some of the most enticing mountain trekking tours on Earth. We'll be introducing, as you can see, three widely varied and important travel topics when we return in just a moment for today's edition of the Almanac of Travel. When you talk about the Himalayan mountains of India in a travel sense, most Americans nowadays tend to think of trekking because the trekking tour operators have inundated the airwaves and the literature with talk about these special treks that take you on foot along the lower slopes of the Himalayas and put you up at night in a tent, living a fairly Spartan existence. Well, our next guest is the head of a tour operation that includes some trekking in his tours, but emphasizes a slightly more comfortable and a different way of going not only to the Himalayas but to special parts of the Himalayas that are not featured on the standard trekking tours. He is Mr. Abdul Ghaffar, who is head of a wonderfully named company called Himalayan Wonderlands that issues wonderful literature of the sort that I'm displaying to our cameras, showing all the exotic sights, colors, sounds, and attractions of Kashmir, Ladakh, words that bring goose pimples to your very arms. Now, you are yourself a Kashmiri? Is that how one refers to you?
Exactly.
Would you place for our viewers the geographical position of Kashmir in the Himalayan range?
Okay. We are in the northernmost state in this India, and we border with China.
Several hundred miles.
74,000 square miles.
And it's way to the west of Nepal, isn't it? It has nothing to do with Nepal. It borders the Himalayas, but way to the north and way to the west.
Himalayas. We're in the western.
Was it Kashmir that was pictured in the last scenes of the movie Passage to India?
You're right.
Those otherworldly mountainous areas with. Why is it that images of opulence, of color, and of splendor come to most laymen when they hear the word Kashmir? Did you have a lot of Maharaja activity going on there?
Yes, we did. We were Maharaja until 1947. It was a princely state until 1947, when at the time of division of India as two countries, Pakistan and India, we annexed with India, and since then we are a state of India. Until then it was a princely state.
And in Kashmir you have one particular tourist city, which is the attraction that everyone is led to, called Srinagar, where your company rents houseboats. Tell us about the houseboats of Srinagar.
Houseboats are vessels. They were basically created by the British when they came to Kashmir, because Maharaja forbade foreigners to own land in Kashmir. So the British came with the idea, how about the water? So they took on waters and built houseboats. But those houseboats were really small in the way they were built. And then as the time progressed, they were more enhanced and built larger, and now they're more comfortable, more than 5-star hotels. There's
extremely luxurious.
Extremely carpeted with oriental rugs, intricate furniture, Edwardian furniture, the best silverware, and the service. The decor is very homely and comfortable, and the service is 24 hours, personalized service where you have.
There is always a person assigned to the houseboat who is available to help with providing a snack or...
Snacks, lunch, dinner, you get all types of meals. You're asked, you what type of meals you would be interested in for lunch, for dinner. The menu is prepared per your choice, whether it would be a continental, Indian.
And yet it's amazingly cheap. I've seen the figures and I rubbed my eyes when I saw it. Can a person who simply wants to spend a week or two on a houseboat in Srinagar go to your company, Himalayan Wonderlands?
Yes,
you represent many of these houseboats?
Yes, we have our...
Because they're almost unbelievable.
We, as it's mentioned in the brochure as well, the deluxe go for double $80, including lunch, breakfast, and dinner.
And that's for two people?
Two people.
$80.
And a single is $50 for a deluxe. And then we have a Class A, which is a step below luxury. It's 65 double and 40 single.
I have to interrupt you here because we have to interrupt for a commercial. But when we come back, I'm going to ask you now to describe the itineraries of Kashmir and Ladakh that your company offers to the traveling public, where you combine trekking, where you combine luxurious, opulent houseboats, as well as visits to the Taj Mahal and all the other standard attractions of India. I'm speaking with the president of Himalayan Wonderlands of New York City, who gives you more variety than a trekking tour would, and we'll be back to speak further with him in just a minute.
We have a 7-day sightseeing in Kashmir, and then from there we go on to Delhi, and we visit the Red Fort and Old Delhi and Chandni Chowk and the hustle and bustle. And not only that, in New Delhi, these modern cities and British enclaves and the embassies, enclaves. It's very cosmopolitan.
And yet you charge $1,100 plus airfare for that 12-day tour. So only slightly more than $100 a day.
Exactly.
And you include meals.
Exactly.
All 3 meals a day.
All 3 meals in Kashmir.
And a luxury houseboat in Kashmir.
Exactly.
And then your 3-week tours.
And then from there we go into see the Taj Mahal in Agra. There's a 1-night stay there. You can see Taj Mahal by the day and in the moonlight. And a visit to the Red Fort that was built by Akbar. And then later on, that same fort was refurbished by his grandson, Shah Jahan, the builder of Taj, where he spent his last days because he was imprisoned by his own son.
But he spent his last days, I understand, looking out a barred window at the site of the Taj Mahal in moonlight. And then you offer 3-week variations on the same thing, always starting, however, in Kashmir, and always involving a stay on one of these glamorous, super luxurious houseboats. For about $100 a day, all 3 meals
included,
plus airfare, of course.
Plus airfare.
And the airfare to India from the East Coast of the United States, what, about $1,100?
$1,050 at the moment. Until November, it is $1,050.
You brought with you such beautiful slides of Kashmir. I wonder if you could comment on what we're looking at as we see.
We're looking at a shepherd in Kashmir breeding his cattle in the Himalayas. Those are planting the rice paddies in the springtime. And that's the typical view in Kashmir, the heart of Kashmir, which is Srinagar, the lakes and gardens. That's a lotus lake in Srinagar itself. And that's the view Shikara stands in the background.
These are some of the houseboats, so there's a houseboat in the background there. And always with the Himalayas as a backdrop. You always see the Himalayas from Srinagar?
That's a harpoon fishing. With one hand, he is maneuvering his boat. With the other hand, he is aiming for the fish. And that's a mobile post office in the Shikara. That particular boat is called Shikara. You have a post office that comes to you, and you can deliver and receive a mail in the Shikara on your houseboat. And that's a flower seller coming as you are going in your cruising through. I
have to interrupt you at this point. I'm sure that our viewers have caught the element of love in his voice as he describes his own native Kashmir. If any of our viewers would like to go to Kashmir on a trip operated by Himalayan Wonderlands, to brochures on Kashmir at the base of the Himalayas, you write to the Travel Channel, Himalayan Wonderlands, Box 725, Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania, 19462, and we'll pass on your inquiries for this literature. Remember, ask Arthur Fromer. If you have any travel inquiries to make at the Travel Channel, write a letter to Ask Arthur Fromer at our broadcast address, 1301 Avenue of the Americas, New York, New York, 10019. And a week after getting the letter, I'll be responding on the air. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in again tomorrow. And this has been the Almanac of Travel.